Opinion: Pakistan's plot to target Harmandir Sahib exposed a direct assault on communal harmony. If there ever was a line that should never be crossed, it was this one. And Pakistan, in its habitual ignorance of history and faith, has not just crossed it but bombed it, quite literally. The Harmandir Sahib, or the Golden Temple, is not only the holiest shrine of Sikhism, it is India's beating heart of spirituality, tolerance and unity. To attempt a missile or drone attack on it is not merely an act of war, it is an act of blasphemy against the very idea of India. According to senior military officials, what the Indian Army has uncovered during Operation Sindoor is nothing short of staggering. A deliberate and calculated assault by the Pakistan Army on the Golden Temple in Amritsar. A place of profound reverence whose foundation stone, ironically, was laid not by a Sikh or a Hindu, but by a Muslim Sufi saint, Hazrat Mian Mir, who was personally invited by Guru Arjan Dev. That one historic act exemplifies India's timeless spirit of pluralism, the very spirit Pakistan has tried to strike down with its cowardly missiles. This isn't just about faith but strategy, one that feeds on deceit, proxy propaganda and the manipulation of religious sentiment. Pakistan's plan is as old as its founding: divide and distract. This time, its weapons weren't just explosives, but lies alleging that India planned strikes on Nankana Sahib and the Golden Temple to inflame Sikh sentiment worldwide and diplomatically isolate itself. It was a dangerous lie, one that not only insulted intelligence, but desecrated memory. Thanks to India's vigilant armed forces, that plan failed. The Indian Army has confirmed that during Operation Sindoor, a series of drones and long-range missiles many believed to be aimed at civilian and religious targets including the Golden Temple were intercepted and destroyed before they could cause damage. The sacred precincts of Harmandir Sahib were saved, not just by technological prowess but by the iron resolve of those who stand guard at India's borders. Major General Kartik C. Seshadri, General Officer Commanding 15 Infantry Division, was unequivocal: the Pakistan Army has no legitimate targets to strike inside India, nor does it have the courage or capability to stand up to the Indian Armed Forces facet office. Hence, it resorts to terrorism as a national policy, using drones and long-range missiles launched from its own soil. The Golden Temple, internationally renowned and a place of faith for all, saw a surfeit of drone and missile attacks, which were bravely thwarted by our Army air defense gunners. Let's be blunt, this was not a military campaign. This was a terrorist act by a failing state. Having failed to divide Sikhs through decades of pro-Khalistan propaganda, Pakistan has now turned to brute force. Their proxies like Gurpatwant Singh Panun and the Band Sikhs for Justice SFJ, have long peddled separatist narratives dressed up in religious symbolism. But this time, Islamabad's own fingerprints are visible on the remote controls. What Pakistan refuses to understand is that Sikhs don't need to prove their loyalty. From Sarigari to Kargil, they have laid down their lives not for applause, but for a deeper sense of belonging. Their faith in India is not fragile, it is forged in sacrifice. During Operation Sindoor, it wasn't just the Indian Army or the Air Force that responded, it was a Sikh Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh, who led from the front. While Pakistan peddled disinformation, Indian Sikh officers and soldiers defended the nation with quiet strength. Try explaining that to Islamabad's propagandists, who still believe loyalty can be bought with slogans and social media campaigns. Let us also not forget that the Harmandir Sahib is more than a religious symbol. It is a living embodiment of Sikh values: compassion, equality and service. Every day, its Langar community kitchen serves over 1 lakh meals, feeding anyone who walks in, regardless of caste, creed or religion. No identity is checked, no label matters. Hunger is the only commonality and service, the only response. The teachings of Sikhism as laid out by Guru Nanak Dev and passed through generations are deeply rooted in the oneness of God and of humanity. Ikongar, there is only one creator, is not just a prayer but a worldview. It is this inclusive vision of faith that Pakistan tried to attack. And it is this vision that has stood resilient. This latest provocation from Pakistan is not without precedent. In 1971, they shelled Gurdwaras in Punjab. In 1965, they falsely claimed Indian shells had struck Kartarpur. Even today, while they restrict Indian Sikh pilgrims at Kartarpur Sahib, they freely allow radical extremists to roam. Their agenda has never been spiritual, only cynical. But this time, they struck a nerve. Not among Sikhs but among all Indians. Far from sparking communal division, Pakistan's actions have sparked national unity. No matter the religion, every Indian today stands shoulder to shoulder in defense of our sacred spaces, our pluralistic values, and our national sovereignty. Pakistan's missiles may have missed their physical target, but they exposed its moral bankruptcy. The Golden Temple still stands bathed in golden light, reflected in the calm waters of the Amritsar River. And in that reflection, we see not fear, but unshakable faith. Swipe left for next video. The Harmandir Sahib is not just a Sikh shrine. It is a monument to India's soul. And that soul, no matter how many drones fly at it, will never surrender. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely that of the author. They do not necessarily reflect NEWS18's views. Latest blogs.